In a thrilling turn of events during the 2026 NFL Draft, the Philadelphia Eagles once again showcased their sharp acumen under general manager Howie Roseman. They created a buzz that sent shockwaves through the draft when Roseman executed a bold move to trade up and snatch Makai Lemon right from under the noses of the Pittsburgh Steelers. This moment, which quickly went viral, was not just a highlight of the night, but an indication of Roseman's aggressive strategy as he prepares for the potential departure of A.J. Brown. Now, fans, where are you tuning in from today? And what do you think about this trade? Leave your thoughts in the comments. The move to draft Lemon suggests that the Eagles are in the throes of finalizing a trade involving Brown, with speculation running rampant that they're simply waiting for June 1st to make it official. This is a pivotal moment for the franchise, and while getting Lemon is undoubtedly a win for the future, it raises questions about the immediate needs of the roster, particularly on the defensive side of the ball. Despite the excitement surrounding the addition of Lemon, it's hard to ignore that the Eagles failed to address their glaring need for defensive line depth throughout the draft. This is a team that has prided itself on a formidable defensive front, but as they head into 2026, the cracks in that foundation are beginning to show. After finishing 2025 ranked 20th in rushing yard allowed and 12th in sacks, the Eagles lost key players like Cooper DeJean and Jalen Phillips to free agency, alongside safety Reed Blankenship, who played a crucial role as the team's third leading tackler last season. Philadelphia's strength on the defensive line now hinges on the big-body duo of Jalen Carter and Jordan Davis, complemented by all-pro linebacker Zach Bond. However, the reality is stark. When you look at the returning edge rushers, they collectively brought only 9.5 sacks to the table last season. The additions of Jonathan Greenid and Arnold Ebiketie, who together contributed merely 5 sacks in 2025, do little to inspire confidence. The situation is made worse by the lack of depth on the interior line, with minimal support behind Carter, Davis, and Moro Ojomo. The desperation was palpable when the team had to coax 38-year-old Brandon Graham out of retirement mid-season last year. Given these circumstances, it was crucial for Roseman to prioritize bolstering the front seven during the draft. Yet his strategy seemed perplexingly off-kilter. The first 5 picks were spent on offensive players, a move that, while understandable following a lackluster offensive performance, delayed addressing pressing defensive needs. The Eagles did eventually draft a couple of defensive prospects, but it wasn't until the very end of the draft. Howie Roseman's final 2 selections in the 7th round, Nigerian prospect U.R. Bernard, who has no prior football experience, and New Mexico edge rusher Keyshawn James Newby, are intriguing yet far from guarantees for a roster spot. Instead of prioritizing defensive needs, Roseman opted for a pair of offensive weapons with his initial selections. The excitement surrounding Lemon was quickly followed by the pick of Vanderbilt tight end Eli Stowers in the 2nd round, who won the 2025 John Mackey Award and is expected to succeed the aging Dallas Goedert. While these picks are valuable for the future, it's frustrating that the defensive needs were sidelined. The Eagles then took Miami offensive tackle Markel Bell in the 3rd round and North Dakota State quarterback Cole Payton in the 4th. Bell, while a solid addition as a backup behind Lane Johnson, will not make an immediate impact. The decision to draft Payton just a month after trading for Andy Dalton raises eyebrows, as it leaves him as the 4th quarterback on a depth chart. If a quarterback was truly on the radar, Roseman could have waited until later in the draft to find someone comparable to Payton. Overall, the Eagles certainly made headlines on draft night, but the choices made in the later rounds leave a lot to be desired. The team is still in a strong position to compete for another NFC East title in 2026, but it's clear that if they want to maintain their status as a dominant force, the defensive line situation must be addressed moving forward. As we transition into the next segment, let's keep the conversation going about how the Eagles can solidify their defense in the upcoming season.
The Philadelphia Eagles have made waves with their recent NFL draft, selecting 8 players who are sure to bolster an already formidable roster for the 2026 season. The early picks are primed to contribute immediately, while the later selections will add crucial depth in key areas. But as always, speculation swirls in the aftermath of the draft. Whose job is now in jeopardy, and who might be watching their back? Let's dive into the winners and losers of this draft, especially in light of the Eagles' strategic choices. First and foremost, The Eagles' decision to draft a wide receiver in the first round and a tight end in the second is a clear message of faith in quarterback Jalen Hurts. With the addition of Makai Lemon, a master in the slot, the Eagles have equipped Hurts with a WR2 to complement his arsenal. Alongside Devonta Smith and anticipated eventual trade of A.J. Brown, Hurts now has a trio of capable receivers that can stretch defenses and keep them on their toes. This is a critical move for the Eagles, as it highlights the organization's commitment to maximizing Hurts' potential in the passing game. Furthermore, the drafting of Eli Stowers as a tight end in the second round adds another layer of complexity to the offense. With Dallas Goedert as TE1, Stowers is set to be a key contributor, utilizing his skills in the middle of the field. This strategic drafting means the Eagles are not just looking to fill gaps, they are actively enhancing Hurts' ability to perform at the highest level. The front office has made it abundantly clear that they are dedicated to providing their franchise quarterback with the tools he needs to thrive. But what about Grant Calcaterra? Previously the TE2, he now faces a daunting challenge with Stowers joining the ranks. It's hard to see where Calcaterra fits in this equation, especially given his limitations as a blocker. With two strong pass-catching tight ends already on the roster, Calcaterra might find himself on the outside looking in. The Eagles may keep 4 tight ends, but with Calcaterra on a one-year deal and not showcasing the blocking prowess needed, it's a tight squeeze for him in this revamped tight end room. On the offensive line front, the Eagles had an opportunity to address their needs in the first round but opted for other positions instead. This decision has inadvertently solidified the position of Tyler Steen at right guard, as the lack of competition means he is likely to maintain his starting role. While there's room for improvement at right guard, the Eagles seem focused on adding depth rather than seeking a new starter. Steen has shown promise, and the Eagles must now ensure they have adequate depth behind him as they look toward the upcoming season. Defensively, the Eagles' draft decisions have raised eyebrows, particularly with the selection of Jonathan Greenard. While Nolan Smith may see a reduction in playing time because of this acquisition, the Eagles have smartly picked up his fifth-year option, suggesting they still value his contributions. However, the presence of Ebiketie complicates matters. With a solid rotation of pass rushers now in place, Ebiketie's $4.3 million fully guaranteed contract raises questions about his playing time. It will ultimately be up to him to carve out a role, particularly on third downs, but the path to consistent snaps looks increasingly challenging. The decision to wait until the 7th round to draft a safety is telling. It demonstrates a strong vote of confidence in Epps, who appears poised to step into a starting role alongside Andrew Mukuba come Week 1. While Epps is a solid player, the Eagles' draft strategy indicates they had other priorities on offense and in bolstering their pass rush. The missed opportunity to select a safety earlier, especially with talent like Emmanuel McNeil-Warren available, underscores the team's focus on immediate offensive needs. As the dust settles on this draft, the Eagles have positioned themselves for a competitive season, but questions remain. Will Calcaterra find his place on this roster? Can Steen hold down the fort at right guard with the necessary depth behind him? And how will the rotation shake out with so many pass rushers vying for playing time? The coming months will reveal just how well the Eagles' front office navigated this draft and whether they can capitalize on the talent they've brought in. Stay tuned as we move on to our next segment, where we'll delve deeper into the implications of these moves and what they mean for the Eagles heading into the 2026 season.